I've spent all day on the cross country, so I don't want to hear how dishevelled I look. I'm well aware. And I am heating my hands up in the washing up. It's so cold. You can understand it when people go, oh, it's in my bones. It is. And my bones don't need any more cold. So, if you want to say, oh, please like, subscribe and share. If you want to send your child into school with a birthday cake on their birthday, think twice. Think again. This is a no. Why is this a no? Well, Labour have said it's a no. Labour have said if you want to send a birthday celebration in, can it be something healthy, like a fruit platter? I mean, oh my God. They are sucking the fun out of everything. Here we are, my little group of 6-year-olds. I bought a platter of grapes and melon and strawberries for you. I was going to bring in a massive great chocolate cake, but the fun police stepped in. They hoovered the mood out of your birthday and they said that we must have a healthy alternative. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for healthy foods. And in fact, I think we are quite healthy in our house as a whole, but I can work my way through a family-sized bag of Wotsits if I want to, because I like them, but I don't do it every day because I know that would be stupid, nice, but stupid. So I don't do it every day and I balance it with other fruit and vegetables and healthy foods because I'm able to make that choice. Now, my children would eat the biscuit tin 24 hours a day if they could. But if I don't fill it up, then it's not there for them to eat, so therefore they can't do it. You know, it's that kind of like parenting thing, moderation thing. However, on birthdays, we have a bit of a rule. Go for your lives. Now, we have that rule because why wouldn't you? So lots of people will turn around and say, yeah, but you know, this is because lots of people just let their children eat crap all the time. So they're just trying to make it better in schools for them to not eat crap. Okay, well, deal with that, but not on birthdays. So deal with them eating rubbish in a different way if you want to, but not on birthdays because they're children. And let's be honest with you, there's no fun being a child at the minute under this Labour government. And if you take away birthday cakes, there's even less fun. But that's what they're doing, folks. And it's not just birthdays, of course. Digital ID, that's going to be a thing if you want to go to the pub. You will soon be able to, and they're selling this as a good thing, you will soon be able to use your digital ID to buy alcohol. Isn't that great? It's another thing to add to your Apple wallet and you may buy alcohol. What it also will probably do is store a record of how much alcohol you do buy or drink that night because it's taking all of our data. Now, some may turn around and say, well, hang on a minute, you've always had to prove your age when you're buying alcohol. Correct. Hasn't happened to me for a long time, unfortunately, but you do. So you would need something to prove that you are 18. Driver's license? ID, as in like your national ID card if you've got one, or any of the other forms of ID that we already have in this country. But no. We must have the digital ID. Now, why am I sceptical? Well, the thing is, with a physical ID, have you got any ID? Yep, here I do. Here's my, pretend this is a card. Here's my physical ID. I can show it to you and I can take it away. You do not need to scan it in something. You do not need to get my data from my ID. Oh yes, that's right, Hannah, you are over the age of 18 and I've got all of your details here now stored. Thanks very much. Now, of course, you might say this is a bit far-fetched. That's not what they're saying. They're just telling you that you can use it for proving you're 18. Well, yeah, in the same way that it was only going to be for adults and it wasn't mandatory and it was in fact only to stop people illegally working. But then we had it for 13-year-olds and now we've got it for buying alcohol. And by a week on Tuesday, it will be for breathing, won't it? I mean, I have no doubt soon enough that you will go into a hospital for emergency treatment and you will scan it like you scan your Morrison's More card for more points. Because I don't believe a word they say. And I mean that most emphatically. I don't believe one single word on absolutely everything, but certainly on digital ID. It is just another net to cast to reel you in. But you know, let's wait and see. It's just my musings. It's not a thing. It hasn't been announced. Well, actually, being used for buying alcohol has been announced. And they'll say, no, it's not like that. It's just for this. And we didn't mean that. And it won't be for that. Before you know it, it's for all of the above. And on the birthday cake thing, I mean, we can't even have a birthday cake. And on the fruit thing, let me tell you something really interesting. So as I've told you before, my kids were both born in Hong Kong and they went to preschool in Hong Kong. And you weren't allowed to take unhealthy snacks in. I'm sure it's exactly the same here, but my reference point was Hong Kong. So we all had to send our children in with fruit or dried fruit or popcorn or something that was nut-free, sugar-free, food-free, taste-free, devoid of anything free, healthy snack. So we all used to send our kids in with little pots of strawberries, little pots of grapes. Mine loved dried mango. All of the fruity bits that we were allowed to do. And we thought, well done us. We're just being healthy. We're looking after our children. We're giving them nice, healthy snacks. Until, of course, we went to the dentist. And for my son, that did not end well. Because when we went to the dentist, he said, oh, I think we might need to do a root canal. And I'm like, are you having a laugh? He's like, 6? Yeah. Anyway, I'll move past the dental situation. The issue being that there was a whopping great hole in his tooth. And I said, well, what is that from? I mean, we have the toothbrush that went on for 5 minutes and you couldn't turn it off until you'd done your proper toothbrushing. And they had toothbrushes pretty much by the side of their beds, in the kitchen. I mean, everywhere you went in our house, it was brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your teeth. We could have brushed all the enamel off for the amount we brushed them because it was rammed home to us that we had to brush our teeth. But that wasn't the issue. The issue was the sugar. Because when the kids had their fruit in the morning, at morning break, the sugar sat on those little teeth of theirs, those little tiny weeny toothy pegs, and it ate the enamel and it ate away at the teeth. And then by the time they'd got to lunch, too late by then, every single morning, 5 mornings a week. And then they'd have their lunch and then they'd have an afternoon snack. And what was that? Fruit. I mean, a fruit smoothie. There's more sugar in these things than there is in a drumstick lollipop. But it's a drumstick lollipop. It's UPF. It's bad. It comes in plastic. It's got bright colours on it. Kids love them, so it's bad. So my son, ended up having to have a filling in a baby tooth because of the amount of fruit he had. And my dentist said you would be better off sending him in with a slice of cheese or a packet of crisps because that won't do to his teeth what the fruit will do. But here we are, Labour, who have got a similar mission on teaching children how to brush their teeth, but you must eat foods that promote tooth decay. Genius. Thanks. What about, Labour, here's a really unique idea. What about you let the parents make those decisions? How about that? I can understand with allergies. I can understand people saying, well, if there's a nut allergy, please don't bring any nuts in. That's fair cop. But in terms of dictating what your child may have bought from home as a snack, I think it's taking the piss a bit to be saying it can only be particularly when the headline is it's healthy, but actually the subhead and the paragraphs below, not so much. But it's another example of Labour, the nanny state, telling us what we can and can't do, what we can and can't feed our kids, which schools they can and can't go to, which nurseries they can and can't go to, which pubs you may or may not go to. Well, none actually, because they're all closing because we've had Rachel Reeves involved in it. You get the gist, don't you? So if it's anyone's birthday in your house that happens to go to a school, a piece of advice: get yourself your Colin the Caterpillar or whatever floats your boat and do it at home. And send them in with a fruit kebab. I mean, they'll be the most popular kid in the class, said no one ever.